Live, Chaos Live. Lee Craft over here and on the road once again. David Rattan in studio. David, good to see you, man. Missed you at Odessa. I wasn't there. You were in the house. Y'all tried to have a show. How'd it go? David, you were muted.
Okay. Hey, man, it's great to see you too, Lee. And glad to be back on the air here with Chaos Live. We went out to Odessa, and like you said, we tried to have a show, and we did have a pretty darn good show. And it just didn't get to finish. But it was wild with the weather because it's West Texas. I grew up in West Texas. If you were expecting things to go easy in the weather department out in West Texas, you got another thing coming, as Ozzy would say. It was we definitely had another thing coming out there. But man, we had a great fan base that came out to try to ride out the wind and try to ride out all the challenges that Mother Nature threw at us. And the funny car teams, they made that long haul out there, and it was eventful, as it tends to be sometimes when you're going that far. But we had so many teams that came out there. They got unloaded, they got ready to go, and when it was time to answer the call, they were there. And we had some big numbers put up. We talk about it all the time, Lee. What a great group it is out there at Penwell Knights Raceway with Gary Gardenhire and JB and all the team that puts on such a great show out there, and really have difficult conditions to work under a lot of times, but they really do a great job, and they did a great job. It was just it's just spring in West Texas, and there will be wind, and if you happen to be there on some of the days that you don't have wind, which is about 2 or 3 days of the month, you'll have less than gale force winds. But anyway, we tried. We made a good effort at it, and the teams really did a good job. Made a lot of new friends out there, and got a chance to see some old friends. But it really wound up being a good event. Those that made the trek really were glad that they did, as they came out of there in good shape, finding themselves up on the top of the points race. And so as we head up to Eddyville, there's going to be it's a whole new pack up there in the top 10, top 12. And so it's got implications for what's coming along. It looks to me, Lee, like I'm not sure how you get done all the things that you have to do, but you've been busy getting out and about and doing all the work that your business calls you to.
Well, for sure, David. Looking forward to getting back to Chaos, but along the way, I hit some weather. Southeast Gas Association at Killcare Raceway, marked another one off the list. Had never been to Killcare, and then many people that we're familiar with were at Rocket City Dragway, such as Joey Haas and Michael Anderson, both Nitro Chaos competitors, and Joey, as a Funny Car Chaos competitor. Pete Dove, the official fuel supplier for Nitro Chaos. He was supplying fuel, their Extreme Top Fuel at Rocket City Dragway. Had a great show as well. So definitely been getting in the drag racing. Got to be on the go, and heading right now northwards to McKinney Corp, get some content there, the official fab source of Chaos, and then roll on to Route 66 Raceway for the NHRA National event just south of Chicago.
I'm telling you, you're a man in motion. You've always been extremely busy, and we can't wait to see you at Eddyville. There was one special thing that took place out there at Penwell Knights Raceway that you take something sad and you make something special out of it, as racers are known to do. It was Galen's last ride. Galen Reiner, of course, we lost Wayne's wife, Galen, a few months ago, and her last ride was out there at Penwell Knights Raceway, and her ashes were put into the parachute of the Prairie Fire funny car, which was her funny car that she loved so much. And David Stringer took it down the racetrack. He was the first funny car down the racetrack, and got a chance to take Galen on her last ride out there. a meaningful time. I hope everybody caught the gravity of the moment. And as you might imagine, there were a lot of folks gathered around, and probably a few tears shed as we said goodbye officially to Galen Reiner, and that we were so honored to have spent so much time with her and with Wayne and all the groups of people that have crewed on that car and driven that car. It's been a special relationship, and it goes on. And so that was one of the special moments from out at Penwell Knights Raceway, was getting the chance to have that official last ride for Galen. She was a great lady, and people who really weren't even planning to come necessarily to Odessa made it out there to pay their respects. So, it was very touching, as one of the family has gone home, and we appreciate everybody that was a part of that, helping to make that so special, and we surely hope that it was special for Wayne and for the family as they had gathered there for that purpose. So, but anyway, we were amongst friends and having a terrific time out there at Penwell Knights. It was just not meant to be for us to complete that race. And for the most part, Lee, we have been so blessed with chaos weather ever since we've started this thing. You can count on one hand the number of times that we didn't complete the race and get to do everything that we that we came to a track to do. And so a couple of times we've finished races someplace else, like the next one down the line. But this particular one, it was just not to be, as the conditions were conditions were rough. And so everybody got a chance to throw their stuff in the trailer and take it home and regroup for what we expect to be a fantastic Memorial Day weekend, as we're ready for Eddyville, as we're getting ready to go up to Chaos in the Cornfield, what should be one outstanding drag race. We'll talk at length about that, I'm sure, with our guests who are coming up. I'm telling you, this is the first time that we have had backup girls on the show on their own. Now we've had Bonnie on the show before, as she was part of the group that was on when we interviewed the Man of War team, but it's going to be Bonnie Lawson and Emily Smith and Amy Smith that are going to be in there coming up here. Was we have our first guests come up. There's a lot to talk about in the world of funny car chaos and backup girls and backup girls official. So we are really looking forward to hearing from these lovely ladies, and can't wait to bring their story front and center to all of you out there in Chaos Nation. So right after the break, we're going to come back and get started with our guests here on Chaos Live.
Are you ready for this?
Race fans, listen up. It's time for the big one. It's the second annual Twisted Shifters and 360 Steel Chaos in the Cornfield. Presented by Stanky Motorsports and Eddyville Raceway Park. Memorial Day weekend. See dozens of 200-mile-per-hour outlaw funny cars and nitro-burning drag racers from across the country. It's high-octane family fun May 24th through the 26th at Eddyville Raceway Park. And every ticket is a pit pass. Trust us when we say you gotta be there. Visit EddyvilleRaceway.com for more information.
Hey guys.
Well, we are back, and you can see that the picture just got a whole lot better when we came back. And I'm happy to welcome three of our backup girls who are really doing wonderful things. Ladies, thank you so much for taking time out of what I know are very busy schedules to share a little bit with our friends out here on Chaos Live.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited to be here.
It is interesting. I want to kind of get your perspective, and I'm going to start with Bonnie. After being out at Odessa and experiencing the weather, and I'd like to get an answer from all three of you, but I'll start with Bonnie. What was it like out there when the decision was made to load up and go? What was it like when you got home?
Dirty, wet, muddy, especially when you have littles in and out of your trailer. It was sad. We hated the way that it ended, like you said earlier, but it was good to take a real shower, to let the water run. You didn't have to turn it off. You could actually wash your hair and do all the things. But I mean, we had a great time. We love Odessa. One of the track owners, Gary, he's so good. We love the junior program out there. Pamela has a blast every single time that we're in Odessa. And I feel like when it's Odessa, you're going to either get sandstorms or you're going to get really hot weather. Like there's not a really in between of it. So, but it was nice to get home and kind of clean up. I can say that.
Yeah. What was it like for your team, Amy?
Well, we're still dealing with it 100%. Casey opened the door of the trailer Monday and we're getting the gambler out, and it is a complete disaster. It's, like going to the beach, you go to the beach, you're having a great time, and you have this sand bucket that this crap just filters around the bottom of, and you carry sand around with you for 15 years. I think that is what Pinwell does to us every single time. And it's not the pretty white sand. It's like black asphalt sand.
It's not PCB sand. It is not that at all.
It's not. So we're dealing with it. It just is what it is. It's worth going there just because of Gary and his crew. The track is amazing. We can deal with the pits. It's an experience.
Yeah. Emily, what was it like with Back in Black?
So actually, I live 3 hours away from where Alex and them live, so I didn't have to deal with pulling the car out of the trailer, but I can say that I'm pretty sure there's still sand from last year in the corners of the trailer that I've been working to clean out. Every time we take the car out, I try to if I was up there, I would help them scrub the floors of the trailer and clean it out and stuff. And even coming home from Louisiana and stuff last year, there was still sand in the corners of the trailer and in the carpet that we have in there. So I didn't have to deal with it too much, but I'm still dealing with it from last year.
Well, there might be sand in the boots. There might be sand in the wardrobe from all of that. But, we say this tongue in cheek and we laugh because what else do you do? I mean, those of us who are from West Texas, we know what it's like to live out there, and it's just part of it. And you grin and bear it and you go on. Now, coming out of that race, though, all three of the teams that you were affiliated with are sitting in the top 10. That's got to feel pretty good. What are your thoughts on how well it's going so far this season? Go ahead, Amy.
Buzz in, Amy.
Who's gonna talk first? As soon as it was released, as soon as Chris, posted it, Casey sent a group text, and it's a group text of all the guys that work on the car, me and Dad, and it was awesome. It was a screenshot, and it was like we're back in the top 10. So we're super excited. We know we have a long road to hoe, and we hope that it's, we end up better than 10, but we're extremely proud. And, if it weren't for Chris making the tough decisions and doing what he did at Pinwell, we might not have been there. So we appreciate it.
Absolutely. How about it, Bonnie?
I'm excited. I think that so far this season that everybody's gotten a run for their money, and it's still up in the air. And I think all the guys are doing fantastic. I know a lot of crews have changed some things and are trying different things. And, well, you guys know, but for the fans, every track is different. So trying to get your car to go down this track, it's not going to be the same as the next track. And so I'm just excited. And I mean, we've talked a little bit on Emily and I's podcast that we do, but when we ran Casey in Baton Rouge, well, Casey's one of our teammates, and he's not just our teammate. We spend holidays with them. We run and gun with them. We have a group text with them. They are our family. And so when Amy and I came out, with different jerseys on, I think we threw everybody a good curveball with that, because it's two blondes. And then all of a sudden, oh, wait, that's not the right one. I'm excited to see where the season goes. I think there's so many, like, you just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm super excited. I'm proud of my team and our sponsors. And I mean, the driver, I'm pretty proud of the driver. He's doing pretty good. So, and then, we got Singleton on our team. So I'm excited to see how the rest of the season's going to go.
No doubt. So what about your main man, Alex, and the Back in Black group there, Emily?
I'm super excited that we're back in the top 10. Last year we were chasing the championship points, and we were actually first in the points for the first half of the year, and then we were fighting gremlins, and we ended up still in the top 5. But this is, my second full season with them chasing the championship. And so just to even be a contender in the top 10 this early on in the season is super awesome to have a good, strong start like that. But like they said, literally anything could happen. There's cars that haven't been in the top 10 consistently, like Chuck Lofton is leading the points, and I'm super excited for them because they've been fighting gremlins for a while with their cars. But I'm just excited to see where the year goes. Anything could happen. People could have parts failures and not show up at the next race, and it could completely throw the points off, and it's liable to change any race. So I'm just excited to see what happens and where we end up, and hopefully we can move a little bit closer up to the top. We're wanting to maybe give Chuck a little tougher competition for that championship title that he's holding on to right now with number 1 in the points.
Well, I see all the boats behind you there, Emily, and I know that that's something that has been part of your life for a long time. But a lot of people watching may not realize where exactly all that comes from. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I currently work for the Southern Drag Boat Association. My mom runs the association as well, which you can see. All these posters are from throughout the years. I've got some car posters up there too, but it's mostly boats. But the association that I work for, we race all over Texas. So Paris, Waco, San Angelo, Marble Falls. And then we actually raced in Phoenix last year as well. But pretty much they race coast to coast. It's same thing as Funny Car Chaos, just on water. And we actually have a class of boats, top alcohol flat bottoms, that they call, it's one of these boats that's right here. We call them the funny cars of drag boat racing because they, kind of skitter out all over the track. But yeah, we run coast to coast, California, Missouri, Oregon. I think they have a couple up in Washington as well. But pretty much it's just like Chaos, but on water.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of K and K guys, a guy named Ken and a guy named Kevin that might know a little something about those drag boats too,
Yeah.
as they've certainly got a lot of success in that. So, Amy, this is a passion for all 4 of us and for everybody that's involved in it. No matter what your role is, you better be passionate about it. Did you ever see yourself or imagine yourself doing all this?
No, absolutely, 100%, 1,000%. No, I did not. I was just trying to be a good daughter and a good sister. A year ago, when we were in Odessa, and I just wanted, because the whole time Dad and Casey were gone to Ennis last year, it was his first run out. Dad's calling me, and if you know anything about Dad and I, we're going to cry in the Spark on the way to pick up Casey if he's had a good run. So I'm on the phone with him, and he's crying. I've got my whole entire neighborhood. We're watching it. Dad's calling me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to support him. And Casey needed a bug, and I was like, all right, I'll try it. I'm maybe once. Well, I got the kids out of school. We surprised my dad. Of course, my dad cried. We loaded up and go to Odessa, of all places. Was my first ever Funny Car Chaos race. And I have been 100 million% hooked ever since. Like, I am obsessed, I guess. I guess you can say I'm obsessed with it.
I tell you what, that sounds like the T-shirt that all of us wear. We don't actually wear one, but if there was one, we would probably wear it that says "I am Chaos."
Yes.
Because it really, really gets into you. and it's just amazing. Bonnie, let's talk about when you arrive on a Friday. You got a couple of qualifiers coming up, and there's this whole beehive of activity going on. Take us through what a team does and what a backup girl does, and what all's on your plate when you pull in the gate and get set up and ready for Friday.
She doesn't have to do anything. She's the queen.
I will say, I say this all the time. I am very blessed with the team that we have. They are amazing. They work their tails off. They know what they're doing. I mean, from loading to unloading to knowing where everything is. Sometimes they know where like my kids' stuff is, like the headphones, those always get lost, and they'll know where they're at. I am very blessed that I'm spoiled. I am very spoiled when it comes to this. But excuse me, when we first started, I did all the chaos stuff behind the scenes. So like the grocery shopping, the cooking, the cleaning, the making sure everybody had the linens that they need to stay in the bus or the camper or the totes. Like I did all of that. And then, I mean, at the time, our first one was MoCan in 2020. And my son was 1.5. And so that was pure chaotic. And then I had Pamela, my daughter, who races. And so then I'm running that and I'm chasing him and I'm doing the cooking and I'm doing the cleaning. So I have been there and done that. I guess you could say I've kind of retired from that. I don't know. But we have an amazing, amazing crew. But it is absolutely chaotic. It's chaotic, and it takes a village to make sure that all the things get done to be successful. So I don't really do any of it anymore.
Well, there is.
I just make sure our outfits are packed because, again, Pamela races, but then she also bugs with me. And so, I mean, you know, but for the ones watching, my 8-year-old is like the size of a 12-year-old. So we got matching outfits. And so I make sure that we have all of those things. And that's the fun part of it, is getting to, for me, is getting to wear the outfits and, you know, not that I like don't feel pretty on an everyday basis, but like I get to have fun and I get to dress up or wear heels and get out of my mom outfit. And so you could say that's chaotic because you got like mini me behind me. Like, what are we wearing? What are we doing? Not opposed to like some of these other ones. I am not taken away from the ones that, because Amy, I know, is super hands-on. Emily is super hands-on.
It's
I don't know where.
I know,
opposite.
like, which way am I going?
I don't know where they're at, but
Is that the wrong direction?
yes.
Yeah, the other way.
Yeah.
The other way. There you go.
See, on
Yeah,
my
that's all
screen,
right.
you're this way.
And
Okay,
I'm willing to.
Go ahead. So everybody's saying Emily's got the story. So lay it on us, Emily.
Like I said, I don't live close to the rig and where Alex and them are at, so I don't do as much now that I'm working full time. But last summer, actually, the day before I raced in Odessa last year, I graduated from college that Thursday, and then that Friday we drove out there. So that whole summer I had off from school, and my mom was very fortunate enough to let me take the summer off of working. So I would go up to Alex's house like the Tuesday or Wednesday before the race and help them get everything loaded up, and I'd be there till like 2 or 3 days after. So, you know, when it comes to making sure that we have all the oil in the jugs in the trailer and all the fuel, getting the car and all that stuff loaded into there. And then once we get to the track, this year I've been fortunate enough to where I do have to work. So I don't come out until usually Friday morning or Thursday night. And by then they usually have the pit all set up. But before, you know, I would
darn.
before I would help them get the canopy set up and pull the car out of the trailer, and half the time before I used to sit in the car and steer it when they would push it out of the trailer and hold the brake and all that stuff. Now my job's a little bit easier because the setup is usually done by the time I get there. But once the car comes out of the trailer, I'm helping put fuel in the car, making sure Alex drinks water because he's really, really bad about that when we're at the track. And so I have to like shove my water bottle in his face and make him drink it. And then also helping tear down the canopy and stuff. I'll drive the golf cart alongside of it with somebody standing on the back of it, collecting pins. I'll pack the chutes if we need to get them packed. Pretty much, I like to say that I'm the intern. Whatever needs to get done, they say, "Hey, Emily, can you do this?" And it gets handed to me.
Yeah, it's an all hands on deck mentality at the racetrack for each of the teams, and there's nobody that's excluded. If something needs to be done, it just has to be done. So, how many outfits? How do you plan it? And let's talk about the themes that are developing. And
Amy is not a fan of that one.
I don't like the themes.
Why not? They're fun.
Okay. I can get on board with every theme except
But Albuquerque,
the aliens, and the military. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
The whole reason we did it is because
Area 51.
Well, no, not Area 51 because that's in Nevada. The whole reason we did it is because the origin of like UFO stories in the U.S. started in Roswell, New Mexico. It was the original UFO sighting. So I was like, let's pay a little tribute to that. So
cancel it.
No, listen. My outfit for it is amazing.
Yeah, it's a good one. The themes, how it came about was there's a couple of our sponsors, and we did the Ennis thing, the big one. And then some of my sponsors had put in money towards that. And then Karen and Kathy, they're sisters. They're super phenomenal. And they are like the biggest bug fans ever. And they were like, we want to give $100, kind of like how they used to do it way back, or not way back, but a couple years ago, to the best dressed. So Emily and I were kind of discussing. I told her, I was like, hey, Karen and Kathy are giving $100 for every race for best dress. We thought of the idea of like, what about theming Q3 of every race? And I will say, I feel like a proud mama bear for the fact that every race, everybody shows up. At Q3, so far, hands down, just like Odessa, we did denim and diamonds. And I didn't see one bug not in denim and diamonds.
I wore
and
denim.
Then you had your diamond ring shirt on.
I know, but I actually wore denim. I mean,
yes.
Let me tell you a fun story about that. So I was telling Bonnie about it, Emily, you missed it. The denim and diamond. So Queen of Sparkles is what I'm a Queen of Sparkles addict. And anyway, long story short, I found the shirt that had the rings on it, and somebody saw a post of it or whatever and needed it for a nonprofit organization. So I sent it all the way to the Keys in Florida because this breast cancer survivor, or she's going through treatment, she is going to wear my bug shirt for denim and diamonds. And
aww.
So it's going on.
Look at you. You're paying it forward.
Paying it forward with these themes.
So hate it all you want.
I know.
It's for the greater good.
I love the themes except for the aliens. I can't get behind it because
well, it's the event in Dallas. Let's talk a little bit about that because that was huge, and there were just so many. It brought, it's not like there's not some attention that goes to the backup personnel, guys and girls both, but that really brought it to the forefront, and just seeing so much participation and so many incredible outfits and even costumes, if you will. I just thought that was really terrific, and I know that the fans did.
Yeah, so the whole reason that we did that was originally we wanted to have some sort of a contest. We wanted to do it for sure at the first one, do a big one, and then we were only planning on doing one at the end of the year. So we kind of started reaching out to people. Hey, is this something you'd be interested in supporting? And then Jagger Naves with Earthshaking Entertainment made a group chat with me and Bonnie in it, and he sent us a message and said, hey, ladies, I know I don't know y'all personally, but I'm the one that did the contest 2 years ago, the big one, the biggest bug contest to ever happen. So we would love to see if y'all want to do that again. If you guys want to do another contest, Earthshaking Entertainment will help support So they were one of our first sponsors that we got. And then, obviously in drag racing, there's going to be a little bit of crap talking. And so me and Bonnie and Jagger started going back and forth. And he's like, well, yeah, but I don't think you guys are going to beat us because we had the highest amount. And I said, I will take your bet and we'll see what happens. So we started reaching out to more people. We had people reaching out to us to say that they want to help support it. And we ended up amassing $2,200. And so not only did we beat Jagger's record, but we did it with a smile on our faces. So sorry, not sorry. Love you, Jagger, but I'm glad we beat you.
Well, a little friendly competition, all for a very, very good cause. And it was a very successful deal. And I was stunned. I should never be stunned by what you accomplish, but it was really, really terrific. Hey, we are at our halfway point, and so we do have a lot more to come out there in Chaos Nation. So hang with us. We will be right back with our ongoing interview with our backup girls, and we've got a lot more ground to cover, but we're going to hear a few words from our sponsors right about now.
What can 360 Steel do for you? We make custom steel products made right here in Illinois. Fire pits of all kinds, knockdown styles to take along anywhere. Hold your drinks high with our drink stands while throwing horseshoes or bags. We have a complete line of military to firefighter signs, flags, hats, stickers, and more, along with many styles of decor. Welcome signs and custom clocks to a number of different monograms and signs. Personalized, custom options for your perfect sign. Bare steel or powder coated to last indoors and outdoors. 360steel.com. Spell it out. 360steel.com. Check out Twisted Shifters for the largest selection of made in the USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We are made in America and we ship worldwide.
And we are back with Chaos Live, and we're talking with Bonnie Lawson from Oklahoma, Emily Smith from Texas, and Amy Smith from over in the state of Mississippi, having a lively discussion about all things backup girl. And what a terrific conversation we've had so far. And thank you so much for your candor and your insights. I know that people come to the races, and they come, first of all, for the race cars, but it might be that they come back for the added bonus of the rest of the show. And I made a post a while back. Somebody was talking about backup girls, and I said the complete package. When you've got the complete package, you've got the race car, it looks good, it goes fast, you've got the backup girl, you've got the merchandise, you've got the hero cards, and that's what brings the folks back, is that complete package. And all three of these ladies work with teams that really, really bring that. And they do a lot of interaction with the fans, both on the track and in the pit area. So let me ask you first, Amy, what's your favorite part about the interactions with the fans?
You caught me on that one. I don't know. I mean, y'all know me. I will talk to a guest host. So just getting to talk to everybody, getting to learn about them. I don't wanting them to know like that we're just normal everyday people. We're all working. I mean, I'm still wearing the same thing that I wore to school today. Like we're normal. We want you to be there. If it weren't for them, we couldn't be there. I don't know. That's a hard one. I would just say learning about them, building relationships with them, making connections. There's just so much. I don't know that I have a favorite other than just purely conversating, like really trying my best to get to know every person that takes the time out of their day. And they could be going to watch the Promons, or they could be going to watch anybody, and they're spending their time wanting to be in our pit. And I appreciate it, and I love to hear from them.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people look at the screen and they're going, is that a postcard behind me? And it's, that's actually your backyard. And you can tell that because there was a dog. But it's absolutely right there behind you. So what a lovely setting. So Bonnie, you do a lot of interact and have a lot of action with the people up there. Tell me what it's like for you whenever it's your time and it's the Man of War 2 comes to life and it's go time.
Okay, I don't know if I caught all that. Is it just me or is he
I just sent a message. I think Mr. David was buffering.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't catch all of that.
Oh, I say, okay. So with regards to fan interaction,
okay,
and you're out there across the wall from the racetrack, and the Man of War 2 fires up, and it's showtime. What is that like, fan interaction wise? What's your focus? Take us through that process.
Oh heavens, I'm a goofball all the time. Well, first and foremost, it's a toss-up if I remember my de-icer. So that's always a good time. So you'll see me sometimes like run back to the truck or whatever, but I love when I get out there and I'm like waving at the fans and I like talking with the photographers. And then just when he does his burnout, I feel like Emily and I have talked before about like miking up. And as I'm like backing him up and she's backing Alex up to like see what we say, because for me, I literally every single time I'm like, dear Jesus, let him go straight. Just let him make it from A to B and go straight. And then he'll start sometimes like backing up really fast. And then I'm like, oh, here we go. And then it's just, I feel like there's a lot of things going on in my head that now I'm stuck. I don't know. I just go with the flow. I feel like because I've been doing it for, 4 years now, our 4th season. I mean, I backed him up a couple times when he used to race for Randy Myers, but like, it's memory, I guess. And then my biggest thing is like when I am staging him, I don't want to get stuck. So you'll see me and I'll sit there and I'll bounce like this until he starts coming forward. And then apparently my squat is getting very well known, especially with the gambler crew. So I squat. And the reason I do that is because he's ran over my foot before. So I have to watch his will come in and then just get the go from the guys. We've got Big John in the back and he's checking the wheelie bar. And then they let me know he's done. And I make sure to look over and wait for the guy we're running for his person to tell me that they're good as well. And then I send them off every time with an I love you. And then I go back there and usually if Jeff Bozeman's there, I give him a fist bump and away we go. And then I just sit there and I'm like, and I scream and yell and it's a whole thing.
And at that point, it's just like all the rest of us. You're watching the cars going side by side, and we're hoping that they're going straight. And we're just absolutely anticipating that wind light coming on and hoping, each one on the teams is hoping it's in their lane. But and the fans just go crazy depending on, and they go crazy no matter who wins because you got some that are rooting for one and some rooting for the other. And it's so much fun. And it's part of being, it's like I always say, there's only 2 kinds of people in the world. People that love funny car chaos and people who have never been. And so when people show up and they experience that, it is just so great. So Emily, let me ask you this. Backup Girls Official. This, and all of you can kick in on what you've got going. And I know that Amy has got some conversation about Chaos Kids, but all of that is fair game. It's on the table right now. We talked a little bit about how this got started, but I'm seeing the Facebook page, I'm seeing the podcasts, I'm seeing the exposure, and this really feels like stepping up and giving some well-deserved recognition to some hardworking folks who are an integral part of the team. And so tell us more about your mission and your vision and what this is all about.
Yeah, so the whole start of this thing, it wasn't even me and Bonnie that started it. It was Doug Vance and Paul and the guys over at Kingdom Media Company. Everybody knows the Adventure Collector videos that were made from the last season. Those are incredible, and I don't know anybody in the Chaos who doesn't love them. They actually created the Backup Girls Officials page because they saw kind of a lack of, not necessarily credit, but they wanted to highlight the ladies behind the cars a little bit more. And so they were actually at the Funny Car Chaos banquet. They approached both me and Bonnie separately and said, hey, we have this idea. If y'all think it's a bad idea, let us know. If not, we want to hand the pages over to you. We want you guys to run them. So me and Bonnie got together and we said, we love the idea. We're more than happy to do it. So the whole reason that we've kept going with it is, there's so many awesome ladies out, whether they're the bugs of the track or the moms that are in the pits or just any women in the pits in general, and even the guys that are the bugs. People see us on the track. We're kind of like a character to them. They see the bug with the car, but sometimes people don't realize that, as Amy was saying earlier, we're regular people too. And so we want people to be able to see kind of behind the scenes a little bit of what it's like going on in the pits, and then see us as people as well and get to know us a little bit better. Because I know,
outside of the pits.
Yeah, me, Bonnie, and Amy, we all live very different lives that had Chaos not brought us together, we would have never intersected. And there's so many other people in the pits, literally from coast to coast that run. They're from Iowa, North Carolina, Texas, Nebraska, all over the country, and it brings everybody together. And we want to be able to highlight all the people behind the scenes and give them a little bit more credit where it's due.
Very good. And there's a lot of things that are seen. There's a whole lot more that are unseen. And we'll get to those in just a minute. But Chaos Kids, Amy, talk to me about that.
I don't know even where to begin other than Mr. Dennis Atwell with Blown Scentless had the very first giveaway, and it was everybody hanging out in the pits, and he was like, I'm going to see if I can get more stuff. It was a competition, and he just wanted to do a drawing our first episode in this, and he came by our pit and I gave him some stuff, and I was like, hey, if you need anything else, please let me know. I'm happy to do it. And of course, I tied up and I put a cute little bow on it and everything. And whenever I said, please let me know if there's anything else that I can do, he did. And then I sat in the driver's meeting where Veronica and Shaggy were discussing, what their plan was to get kids more involved. So I guess the Chaos Kids is kind of piggybacking off of that. The mission in general is just to get kids more interactive, to let them know that, again, we're just normal, everyday people. We want them there. We want to see them in our future. Veronica and Shaggy made it a very valid point. Like, there's not young guys anymore. It's all middle to older age gentlemen that are doing funny cars right now, and we want just to spread the word. And if there's any kid that comes by the pit and they think that this is a dream that is never attainable, it 100% is. You can be a photographer, you can be a mechanic, you can be a cook, you can be anything that you want to be, regardless of your monetary status, any of that. You can be involved, and this is just something to kind of show them that we're here for them and we appreciate them. And everything that we've done thus far has been through donations. It has blown me away, absolutely blown me away. So thank you to everybody that has done that so far. It's been fans, it's been drivers, it's been teams. It literally has blown me away. So I've already talked to some different schools regarding the Eddyville, the Chaos in the Cornfield. Of course, I know how to find email addresses to principals, and I've emailed them, and I've already gotten 3 responses that they are going to send Funny Car Chaos flyers home with their students. So We might
Amy
have.
tracking down the old principles. I like it.
I know. So,
Wow, that is great. That is great. And we'll look forward to seeing all those kiddos up at Eddyville. There's always a lot of kids at a chaos race. It's Chris and Tara have made it very important in the DNA of chaos that it's a place that you can bring your kids, a place you can bring your grandparents, that it's safe, that it's family friendly, and it's just an absolute joy to be there and to spend time with families like yours. And so family is a big part of what it's all about. So 2024 goals for Backup Girls Official, goals for your race teams, goals for yourself personally. Let's just get a closing statement from each one of you, maybe about your goals for the 2024 season. Emily, let's start with you.
All right, put me on the spot here. So for the Backup Girls official page, obviously we want to get more and more attention to it so that we can get more attention on these wonderful people behind the scenes. We're always looking for more sponsors. As of right now, we have Kingdom Media Company, Double D Med Spa, Outlaw Truck and Trailer, Car Chicks, R40 Trucking. We've got some amazing people behind us, and we're always looking to bring more people into it. So that's definitely a big goal for us. With the race team, obviously we're chasing that championship. We're hunting down Tom Furchess. We want to take that title from him. But yeah, just all in all, hoping for a safe season, both on and off the track, getting to the races and then going down the track. And for the Backup Girls official, we want to bring more awareness to it. Hoping to get a little bit more money in for our Junior Bugs contest that we're having in Mocan. We want it to be just as big as the Ennis contest, so that all the Junior Bugs that we have know that they're just as much appreciated as the big kids on the track. So all in all, just the safety and well-being of everybody, as well as the growth of the page.
All right, great. Lee has a question. Will Backup Girls Official attempt to connect with other bug organizations and groups such as those that work in other organizations?
Yeah, so we're actually we wanted to get a little bit more established first and get our feet steady on the ground before we started reaching out to other people, because we didn't want it to just be total chaos when we reached out to them. But we're working on reaching out more with the Dirty South Gasser ladies as well that run alongside us, because I know a lot of them have some amazing outfits and amazing stories behind them as well. So we're working to establish a line of connection on that, as well as maybe hopefully making it out to the Chaos on the West Coast in Bakersfield and kind of connecting with some of the West Coast ladies. I know that's my home track, so I'm hoping to get back out there and kind of be able to bridge the gap between Texas and California a little bit more.
All right. I
think he's frozen.
Oh.
We're buffering again.
We're buffering again.
After these messages.
We'll be right back.
He's back.
He's back.
For
Hi, Lee.
a brief moment, I'll take over the show as we await David to return to take back the helm here at Chaos Live. Thank you again for your time. You all do such a fabulous job. So, Bugs Official, the work you all are putting out there, I'll take it in another angle. How do you deal with those that are not in favor of bugs out there doing what you do? There are those in this world that have twisted minds and think you shouldn't even be out there.
Take it away, Amy.
Amy's buzzing in. Go for it, girlfriend.
I didn't know that there were actually people that didn't think that you should be doing that. Like I said, I'm a normal person. I live 4 different lives: a teacher life, a mama life, a wife life, and a race life. I did not know that such people existed. There are some things that I can see why outsiders are like, this is just taken away from motorsports. But I think that the girls of Funny Car Chaos really do a great job keeping it family friendly. you're just being a backup girl. You're not being some object for anything else. And I appreciate that a ton. I've had a million people ask me about my outfit from Ennis, and we had a car show this past weekend at our giant city fest, and that Dad and I do, and everybody was like, "Where's your outfit?" And I'm like, absolutely not. You know who I am. It's just not going to happen again." But saying that, just to say that I think that everybody, if it's regarding anything along those lines, I think the Chaos girls really try their best to keep it within the lines. Does that make sense, Bonnie?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. And I think also when it comes to people who have those opinions, Lee, if you were going that way, it was more or less like we've talked about it on the podcast that, like, yes, the whole dressing up and the looking pretty, that's like the bonus part to it. So like, we're not just standing there looking pretty. There are things that we're looking for, and not just with our car, but the car that we're fixing to run against. So as much as it may look like that we're just standing out there in our boots and our, outfits or whatever, but there are things that we are looking for that people on the back side of the car cannot see the front side of the car. So, I mean, if Shane does a burnout and he starts backing up and he's leaking something, I can clearly see that, where, Singleton or Double D or Big John, Lane, whoever can't see from the backside. So it's still a job. Like, we're just looking pretty while we're doing it, if that makes sense. Does that answer that? Oh, and we're back with Mr. David. There you are.
Yes, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will,
Yes.
move right on. So, yeah, no, it's been great having all the input from you ladies about all the things that you do on the track, at the track, away from the track. It is really terrific to have had all of you joining us for tonight's episode of Chaos Live. Any final parting shots from any of you? And we are looking forward to seeing great things from Backup Girls Official and from each of your teams in the 2024 racing season. So if you have any final thoughts you'd like to share, go right ahead.
I just want to say really quick, I'm proud of all the ladies that come out and show up, and they show out every race. I know, me personally, my first race, it was really intimidating to go out and see people like Bonnie on the track. She looks like a model going down the track.
Oh my God, you're so sweet. Thank you.
So it's definitely a little bit intimidating coming out and being surrounded by all of these ladies that do all this all the time. But as the year progresses, we get more and more participation in our Q3 contests. And so it's just really awesome to see everybody coming together. And I know I've brought pieces for outfits. If women need, a little extra something, they want to do that. It's a big family of all the ladies coming together and supporting each other. And I love that we're able to build a community where everybody feels safe and welcomed to be able to do all this kind of stuff. Because like Bonnie said, we go out and we wear the pretty outfits, but we have a job to do, and wearing the pretty outfits is just the fun part of it. And if people want to be hateful about it, if they want to talk some crap about it, then that's on them.
They can come do it.
Yeah, we're having so much fun out there, and if they feel the need to rain on our parade, then that's on them. But we're having so much fun, and I'm so glad that I get to be part of it.
Safe and supported, and it is so great to see the confidence build, because this is not something that you grow up thinking about doing unless you actually grew up at the drag strip. But once you begin
I can speak for that.
Okay.
I married into this. So this is all things like this. I mean, not now, but when I first started, this is new to me.
Yeah.
I'll say something in regards to Backup Girls Official. I have listened to every single podcast, and I know, Mama Jo is my Mama Jo too. We spend holidays with her, and there's just something about hearing her talk. Miss Diana Bunch. Like, I absolutely love her. I see her all the time, but listening to her talk, Diana Bunch's podcast was absolutely amazing. Chelsea Neal lives 10 miles from me. All of us talk all the time, but to listen to this podcast, y'all have got to listen to them, because there is something hidden in every single one of them that you're going to find out through it that you had no idea that you were missing and that you would even want to know. Like, I texted Bonnie today and I was like, oh my gosh, Diana's podcast is absolutely amazing. And she said it gets deep. And my response was, I love it. I absolutely love it. So do yourselves a favor and, make sure that you tune into them, you listen to them, because there's always something to be learned. So thank you, girls, for doing that. Thank you for making me do it.
Way to trick you, but you're welcome.
Yeah, but thank you for making me do it. Thank y'all for making me do this tonight. My goal for 2024 season is to have a win. We need a win. The gambler needs a win. So,
we're getting there. You'll get it.
Winning makes everything a lot better. It's way more fun when you're winning. And I got to say that all three of you are winning at the backup girl in the racing game. And Funny Car Chaos is blessed to have you and your families and your teams involved. We really appreciate you being with us here tonight. So thank you so much for your contribution to Chaos Live and to all things chaos.
Thank y'all.
Can I throw a couple?
Of course you can.
You're done.
No.
You're done.
A couple like big kind of like fun things that we're trying to do with like both of the with Amy and I, and then with Emily and I. And I brought this up and to Emily, and it's kind of like a chaos bug of the year kind of thing. And I think we're going to like highlight one individual, and obviously every year it kind of be different, but then to kind of represent the chaos bug. And I mean, Lee had asked if we were going to reach out and things like that, which we will, but us three are all like with the Funny Car Chaos. And so, but just kind of like do something like that. So that's kind of in the works and something super fun to kind of, my envision is like, for the year. And like, I was thinking like the whole crown and like, we just have like a chaos of the year, someone who is kind and helps to all the ladies and that is a team player for everybody. I just think that would be kind of fun to get to do and be at the races and get to see her or him, because also it's like bug. So it's backup guy. So we've also said like backup guides to like kind of group them all together. So, go around pit to pit and ask, all the teams who they think that might be like the chaos bug. And so that's kind of in the works that we've got going. And then Amy and I have also discussed kind of doing the Queens of Chaos, a little live stream kind of thing, give the woman's perspective before you pack up, while you're on the road, when you get there, when you get home, kind of like the woman's perspective. So we're calling that the Queens of Chaos. So look out for that as well. So a lot of fun women things happening.
That is great. Rule number one, having fun. And that's what we're doing. And you ladies add an awful lot to that. So again, thank you so much for being a part of it tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hugs, girls. I'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
See y'all in Eddyville.
Thank you.
Okay. We have one more segment, race fans, and we will be back for our final segment of Chaos Live.
Well, hello, folks. I was attempting to answer a message and go to another commercial, but we'll go ahead and bring David back, and we'll continue to roll on in this thing. Yes, ladies, to answer your question, you're done. Yes. Thank you. No, it was great having you all on, and keep up the good work that you're doing in continuing to expand the portfolio and brand that is Chaos.
Yeah, what a fascinating bunch of information that we were able to gather tonight from those three ladies and their racing teams. You know, success begets success, and we are seeing people thinking bigger, encouraging each other, and building each other up in every phase. We have more cars, we have more teams, we have more venues, we have more backup girls and backup guys who are saying, you know what, maybe I actually could do that. And Chaos is the venue that allows everybody the opportunity to show up and do well from wherever they are. It doesn't require years of experience and seven figures of backing to do all this kind of stuff. And so we're excited about all of that. So Lee, you've got races that you have listed off that you're going. I've got Outlaw Fuel Altereds at Extreme Raceway Park this weekend. We've got over a dozen. It's I've heard 13, I've heard 15. Also, rumor has it that the one of the coolest Outlaw Top Fuel dragsters that ever was, the old Wildside, has been purchased and found itself in Springtown, Texas, and maybe actually testing at XRP this weekend. We've got TDRA, Old School Back Half, and Texas Volkswagen Drag Racing Association going on this weekend. I'll be out there. If you're in the Metroplex and you want to see a great drag race, we're going to have one Saturday at XRP with the Outlaw Fuel Altereds presented by Lone Star Forklift. And then, of course, Eddyville coming up in a week and a half. The Twisted Shifters 360 Steel Chaos in the Cornfield presented by Stanky Motorsports. 27 funny cars entered for Funny Car Chaos, and 17 nitro cars entered so far for the Nitro Chaos part of the program. So it's going to be a full house. We're going to have a lot of great things going on. Sounds like we might have a few school buses of kids coming out for Chaos in the Cornfield. Man, wouldn't that be a kid? You know, that's one of the things, Lee, is I think my first, well, I don't think, I know my first drag race, I rode a school bus from my little town out to Amarillo Dragway, and, you know, there was 40 of us on that bus, and we were running around having the best time. And so I hope that there's an awful lot of that going on, not only at Chaos in the Cornfield, but at every race throughout the season.
Well, I know when I would attend the Southern Nationals, school was always still in session, and the Friday there would be plenty of school buses at the Southern Nationals, and I always thought to myself, man, I want to go to school and go to the drags while I was out of school with my dad enjoying the drags. But nonetheless, I was like, this is cool that the school is taking kids to the drag strip to take it in. And any of those type of programs being worked out is certainly advantageous for any program, certainly a motorsports program, because, you know, the overarching culture of the day is, well, cars are a tool. They're not necessarily cool things. They're just a tool. Let me get to A to B. Let me have comfort while I'm in it. Not really the hot rodding and the souping up scene that we used to see. The younger we get them, the better.
Oh, that's, you know, there's a lot to be said for that, and we're doing our part. Got to say that we're all doing our part. Well, Lee, thank you so much for helping to present this Chaos Live episode tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed it out there in Chaos Nation, and we are very much looking forward to seeing all of you at Eddyville Raceway Park for that Twisted Shifters 360 Steel Chaos in the Cornfield presented by Stanky Motorsports. It is going to be one more epic drag race, and we absolutely look forward to seeing you at the drags. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time on Chaos Live.
Are you ready for this?
Race fans, listen up. It's time for the big one. It's the second annual Twisted Shifters and 360 Steel Chaos in the Cornfield. Presented by Stanky Motorsports and Eddyville Raceway Park. Memorial Day weekend. See dozens of 200-mile-per-hour outlaw funny cars and nitro-burning drag racers from across the country. It's high-octane family fun May 24th through the 26th at Eddyville Raceway Park. And every ticket is a pit pass. Trust us when we say you gotta be there. Visit EddyvilleRaceway.com for more information.
The biggest funny car event of the season is coming Friday and Saturday, June 14th and 15th. The Twisted Shifters Summer National, presented by 360 Steel. Funny car chaos invades Cordova Dragway with 36 outlaw flip-top plastic fantastics, plus the gear jamming hot rods of Midwest Pro Stocks, Nostalgia Gasser and Super Stock, Ozark Super Shifters, and more. It all kicks off Friday evening at 7 p.m. with 2 huge funny car qualifiers. Then Saturday final qualifying at 2 p.m., followed by no-holds-barred eliminations at 6. And we're not done yet. See incredible flame-blasting jet funny cars lighten up the sky both nights. Parking and pit passes are free with your general admission ticket. Go to CordovaDragway.com to get them now. The biggest, wildest, and most chaotic packed funny car event of the season. It's the Twisted Shifters Summer National, presented by 360 Steel. Friday and Saturday, June 14th and 15th at Cordova Dragway. Who's your money on?